know, in retrospect, I wish I could have gone back and waited until I had all 5 of these to do them all at once. Because then I could have done them in their numerical order. Wing Gundam, or Wing Zero being 0, and then Death Scythe being Unit 2, second, and then Heavy Arms, number 3, third, Sandrock, and then Altron. But, hey, you know, hindsight. So, why don't we just completely go out of order, and we're gonna next up we're gonna take a look at the Altron Gundam, aka Gundam Nataku. I'm actually surprised that they mark it as the Altron in this release, when previously every other version of this design released as a model kit was always referred to as Nataku. Now, its name in the show, and therefore the official name of the mobile suit, has always been the Altron Gundam. But the model kits, going back all the way to 1997, I believe, with the first high-grade releases of this design, concurrent with the OVAs in the film, always referred to it as Nataku. And I'm puzzled why they would make the change, but whatever. Anyway, let's take a look. So this one's got a much more dynamic box art than the Wing Zero had. That one having just a very static pose, not very interesting. This one's in the middle of a battle with the Wing Zero, incidentally. That's kind of the big centerpiece toward the end of the film, is when Hiro finally gets the Wing Zero back. He's trying to get to Earth, and Wufei confronts him, and they have this, you know, epic battle as they're falling towards Earth and eventually through the atmosphere. And this is kind of a major moment from that, when they finally clash. But typical P-bandai fashion, it's all in one color, all the green, the color of the main body of the Altron Gundam. So, not really much to say. Box sides don't have anything to speak of. So, we'll just open her up. Like many P-bandai models, it does come with a set of water slide markings. I'm not sure if it has any self-adhesive stickers or dry transfers to go along with it, but this appears to be the bulk of the various markings that would be included. You got a lot of just warnings and no step and some, I'm not sure what these say, but they appear to be Chinese letterings that probably say Altron or Nataku or something relevant to the character in the mobile suit. The B runner here has the clear beam effects. This is dated 2011, so this is actually the same runner, just gated to itself, which I've never actually seen. So it says B runner here, B runner here. That's really neat. I didn't know they could do that. Yeah, it's just the clear beam effect part for the twin beam trident. The A runner, as usual, is the system-injected runner, having the clear eye lenses, feet parts in dark gray, lighter gray parts of the Dragon Fang effect, or the Dragon Fang parts, the chest plate, some codpiece parts, and then the yellow for the rest of the chest plate. It's kind of an interesting yellow. It's, I can't really describe it. Kind of a brown, mustardy yellow. It's more on the yellow side, but like it's a very interesting shade. Probably not coming across very well on camera, but it looks really neat. The H1 runner is new for this release. It's 2 of them, so we'll take a look at one. It's the main body of the Dragon Fang and the mounting part for the wrist. As well, this looks like the chin part, so it looks like, I'm not sure what this one on the other side is, but the chin, obviously there's only one of, so the spare on the other runner would be a duplicate. The C1 runner has your pilot figure in standing and seated position. Looks like wearing civilian clothes. Kind of a surprise, actually, because in the movie he was wearing the Marimeya Army uniform for pretty much the entire film, including, I believe, when he was flying the Altron in the battle. So it's kind of surprising that they wouldn't have gated this off and given you another pilot option. But it is what it is. The head is a front and back half segment. Looks like the seam is probably designed to fall on a natural seam line, unlike on the Wing Zero. So you got like the main body, rear half, and then the forehead, center, and then this would be kind of the flanking bits on the side that give it kind of look like jaws. Look really interesting. You got your upper leg parts, you got your lower leg, ankle guards, your knee, calves, upper arm, and some other bits and pieces. More of those mustard yellow. More parts for the Dragon Fang. I would guess there's probably 2 of this runner, possibly with this section gated off, because this is the forehead crest. Yeah, this would be all of the main claw parts for the Dragon Fangs, and then some articulated bits here. I don't see an indication of what it's molded in, but I would say it feels like styrene and not ABS. So I'm surprised that these would have been molded in styrene, since they're hinged, jointed parts. That would be kind of a potential failure point or point of wear. Polycap set, PC205, dated 2010, is the same exact polycap set we've seen with the Death Scythe and the Heavy Arms, and probably with several other models that I've built over the last 8 years or so. Not much to say. It's polycaps. The H2 runner has the main shaft of the beam trident, as well as 1 additional half of the beam emitter. I'm guessing that the other half is on another runner someplace. I'm not sure where, but I'm sure it's in here somewhere. There is a slot at the center for the hand with the pegs on the fingers to hold it securely. The E-runner has actually a really attractive green. This is like a very bright green. I really like this. You got some chest parts, midsection parts, parts for the shield, which I don't think are even included with this version, because it never carries a shield in the movie, because the Dragon Fangs actually effectively act as shields because they're large and bulky and serve that function. You got backpack parts as well. I think some collars for the wrists, some skirt armor parts, it looks like, as well as some shoulder armor bits. The D1 runner is molded in a slightly different shade, but still a very attractive shade of green, a slightly darker shade than before. You got more shoulder armor parts, some side skirt armor parts, front and rear skirt armor parts, the armor panels for the back of the hands, and the wings on the side of the head. This is the I3 runner, so I guess there's at least 2 more that use portions of this. But this has a stand for the Dragon Fang, so you can display it extended and not have to worry about it drooping, so it'll just sit on the stand here. It's got some additional fins for the Dragon Fang, and it has a new pilot figure in the Marimeya Army uniform, both standing and seated. So that's nice. I really like that. I wish that they had done that with Wing Zero, but yeah, they did not include an updated pilot figure with that model. Here we have an I4 runner. Only difference between this one and the last one appears to be that it doesn't have the pilot figure and other bits that were in the corner here. There's some stuff for the head. So it looks like it's just the stand and then fins for the Dragon Fang. D2 just has some duplicate parts from another runner we looked at a minute ago. Some shoulder and side skirt armor parts, and I believe this might be part of the wrist or somewhere on the arm from the looks of it. Okay, now I get it. The yellow duplicate of this before had the forehead crest on it, was the I1 runner. This is the I2 runner, and then those two are the I3 and 4. I don't know why they do them in different colors and still call them I whatever instead of just J1 and J2, but hey, I'm not Bandai, I don't make their decisions. But yeah, this is just a duplicate of the one we had before, it just doesn't have the forehead crest. The C2 runner is a partial duplicate of the C1 runner we already looked at, just has some leg armor parts and some parts for the upper arm, and that's about it. And now we're getting into the shared ABS frame parts that most of these Gundam Wing kits have in common. We'll start with the XA runner. Has the hands, which are the standard, more modern swap-out finger versions, lower waist, upper body, parts of the frame, forearms, which this one does have complete forearms, unlike the Wing Zero, backpack parts, peg mount for an action base, neck, looks like about it. And the XB runner we have two of, so we'll just look at one, having lower legs, upper legs, ankles, knees, joints, parts for the feet. These look like replacement parts for the arms, for the forearms specifically, possibly to give it extra sturdiness, because it has all that extra weight for the Dragon Fang. You got your upper arm parts and shoulder, some additional linkage parts and joints here and there. More duplicate runners. This is J2, so I'm guessing this would be J1. These are the extension segments for the Dragon Fang, so that when it actually is launched from the forearm, it can extend and snake off. Looks like it's all ball jointed each segment. As well, these are kind of the talons designed to actually grab onto whatever mobile suit it's latching onto and like really dig its teeth in. Yeah, these are the J1. Identical from here, and then just some additional segments here. Yeah, not much else to say. There's a little piece here I can't identify. Might be for somewhere in the torso. I think actually, yeah, this would be, there's a red little block in the center of the torso. That would be what this is for, I would guess. Also, foil back stickers, eyes and various sensors, and I'm guessing these would be the eyes for the Dragon Fangs, which, I will paint them. The G-Runner has the last of the frame parts. I've got your cockpit sphere, backpack, codpiece parts, some thigh pieces for the, or calf pieces for the leg frames, knee and foot parts, some skirt armor parts, some additional backpack stuff. Yeah, all molded in ABS, so all looks like it's very sturdy. And finally, the F runner has the collar, the pilot seat, the frame for the head, wrist collars, that last emitter part for the beam trident, and the main thrusters. It always struck me as weird that the Altron Nataku in this configuration is considered to be such a high-performance mobile suit, but it only has two little thrusters. So that always struck me as very weird. Finally, instructions. Similar to how the Heavy Arms did it, it's the extracted version of the Altron from the cover art. Open up, first we have the parts callouts. Not a lot of X'd out parts. There's some parts on Runner E and some parts on Runner XA. Those would be the forearm parts since they've got replacements on XB. And only a couple of polycaps don't get used. As well, just that duplicate of the red center chest block. Looks like just about everything else does get covered. Oh, there's a couple more here and there, but nothing worth really mentioning. Construction starts with the torso. Of course, you have like your warnings and whatnot, how to build. Then moves on to the head, arms, legs. No center section. No center detail of, like, bio photos or whatever, which always a huge bummer with these p-bandai models. But yeah, so construction carries on with the legs, midsection of the torso, and then weapons and backpack, before moving on to the extendable segments for the dragon fangs, and then the dragon fangs themselves, the stands for them, and then on the back you've got your marking guide. Since this uses water slides, it gives you directions in Japanese, naturally, how to use them, and then positions for everything. So yeah, I guess you just got that little set of foil stickers and then your water slides for the rest of it. So that's the Altron. When I built the Shenlong TV series version color a few years ago, I was very, very disappointed in it, because one of my favorite features of the Shenlong and the Altron, the old high-grade models, was the way the arms extended. They had extra segments in the shoulders that would extend outwards and then collapse back to more traditional proportions. But the Shenlong, in the TV series color version of the Veracast style, all it had was just a big, stupid dragon fang on its forearm that never stayed attached. It fell off all the time. It didn't extend. It was just a big head that attached to the wrist. It was very dumb. I never liked it. And it was very disappointing to me. And so many little details about that thing bothered me. From the position of the slot in the beam glaive, single blade beam trident, whatever you want to call it. It was rotated 90 degrees from what seemed like the more comfortable way to pose it. So everything with that model it just rubbed me the wrong way. So it ended up going in a box very quickly after I assembled it, and I never really looked at it again. And then eventually it got thrown out. It was about 2 years ago. I think it might have been one of the first models I built after I moved into the house. But my hope is that I'm going to like this one a lot more, because aesthetically I like the look of the Altron a lot more. I do like the double-ended beam trident a lot more, but I also like the double dragon fangs, because it balances it a lot. That was the other thing with the Shenlong, was just with that one huge dragon on one arm, it was out of balance. It was leaning too hard to one side. Even with the shield on the left arm, it was awkward. At least this will look a lot more balanced and symmetrical, and I do love symmetry. But yeah, like I said with the Wing Zero, it's going to be a while before I'm able to get around to building either of these things. I wish I could get to them much sooner, so I could complete my display of all 5 of them, plus the Tall Geese 3 and whatever else I'd like to pose with them. But yeah, it's going to be a while. But probably before the end of June, I would say, I'll be able to have all 3 of them done. So, yeah, so that's it for now. We're going to take a look tomorrow at the Sandrock and finish off the set. So thank you everyone out there for watching. Happy modeling.